The very first ever morning guest on the Bernie and Sid in the Morning Show was Jim Breuer, and here he is live this morning. What a treat. The great Jim Breuer. Good morning, Jimmy.
What's up, Jimbo?
Morning. How are we today? What's going on?
Well,
what's going on?
Yeah, well, 1 year, and you were our very, very, very first guest. And, by the way, talking about our 1 year anniversary, you've had an amazing year. You've got a new all-comedy album coming out, Jim Breuer live from Portland, Friday, April the 5th, and over 100 digital platforms, including SiriusXM, Pandora, Spotify, and iTunes. It was recorded at the Helium Comedy Club, and it's got 14 brand tracks. Of course, your monthly shows at the Paramount, your New York Met Fantasy Camp. So forgetting about the Bernie and Sid 1 year anniversary, what an epic year it's been for Jim Breuer.
Another one.
It's been crazy too. Two other things that I look back and I go, man, I really am the Forrest Gump of entertainment. This time last year, I sang at Madison Square Garden
Billy
with
Joel.
Billy Joel.
Yes, that's right.
And I just finished touring with Metallica. What's going on?
Oh, my God.
What's going on?
And you had sex, a 2-on-1 with Jennifer Lopez alongside Alex Rodriguez.
A trifecta. You see, George Bailey, you really had a wonderful life.
Oh, God.
So, listen, the Mets...
Life is good, man.
Yes, it is good. So,
go ahead. What were we going to say?
No, I was going to talk about this Starling Dykstra controversy, being the long, die-hard Met fan that you are. What do you think about all that nonsense?
All right, this is what I think. There's a couple things here. Ronnie clearly knows how to sell a book. That's number one. Number two, if I was Dykstra, I wouldn't even get involved. I mean, I get why he's mad. I don't think I love Ron Darling. He didn't need. Listen, if you heard the word, there's so many things here. I know the way I was back then. At the end of my street was an all black neighborhood, and if I walked over there, I can assure you, no one ever said, "Oh, hello there, Mr. James Breuer." There's not very nice things said to me. So that's one thing. And same with me. I had different thoughts back then. You grow, you change, you grow up. Now, that's number one. Number two, you can't tell me Dykstra was the only guy like that. You had both sides like that. Again, I'm sure Oil Can Boyd at the time wasn't going, "Well, I really appreciate your comments, Mr. Dykstra."
Hey, listen, you can keep it to the Mets. You remember Jim Breuer? You remember the back and forth between Darryl Strawberry and Wally Backman? Even during the team photo, they got into a fight.
That's right. So, I mean, we get it. It happened back then. You're embarrassed. I am mortified of just some of the thoughts I used to have that I have no problem putting out there because I believe in growing in your life, whether you had prejudiced thoughts or just thoughts, any kind of thoughts, juvenile thoughts. I mean, come on, man. You're talking about the 80s, a 20-year-old kid. Let's say he did do it. Please. That's the last thing on my radar. I'm not saying he should have, but we're selling a book here at the end of the day.
It was a low blow by Darling to put it out there. I would say anyway.
I agree. I love Ronnie. I think Ron's a class act. I'm a little taken back that it's almost like he had a personal agenda, and maybe he does. Maybe there's a little anger, personal agenda, and this is his way of getting at him. You don't know, but yeah, he didn't have to do that. I mean, look at Dykstra. Poor Lenny's in and out of jail. He's missing teeth.
I know. I mean, does he need Jesus.
He doesn't need any. He doesn't. Lenny's. It's like kicking a homeless guy. Why would he do that?
That's exactly. I was just going to say he could be there, but for the grace of God, he could be living downstairs at Penn Station. This poor Lenny Dykstra guy. Hey, look, Jim Breuer. Also, I saw where you were rumbling with Chris Weidman, the UFC former champion. I mean, to add to your Forrest Gump lifestyle.
Oh, yeah.
And it was pretty. It got pretty rough.
Yeah, no, you know what the worst part of that was? We're working out, and he's showing me fighting. He was a little impressed by some of my fighting skills. He forgot I grew up South Shore white trash Long Island, where you needed some fighting skills.
You showed him.
Right on the right on the borderline of Rosedale. So anyway, the worst part about that, he wanted me to get in the ice tub. And I got to say, I had a hard time convincing me to get in there. I got in there, and I was in there at least 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Wow.
Pure ice tub, all the way subdued up to my neck. And I got to say, I pulled it off, and that's something to do at the Mets camp too, boy. If you're achy, and you get in the ice thing,
it works.
It's a miracle work.
Don't worry about the shrinkage.
Yeah. See, one of the things that I'm actually a little upset that the Mets are good. I love the Mets as much as you do, Jimmy. And this 3-1 start has me really excited. But I got to tell you that when the Mets are not playing well, there is nothing better than going on social media and seeing you, Jim, put together one of these ranting, raving, maniacal, crazy Met videos. Those are going to disappear if the Mets are good this year, Jimmy.
Well, yeah, eventually they might, but we'll see. Right now, we're 4 games in. Last year, I already had them winning the World Series 15 games in.
Yeah, right.
And so did every other Mets.
Oh, yeah, you make a good point. That's right. For the Met fans that are excited about this 3-1 start, they were 11-1 last year.
Take it easy.
Yeah, I think we even 15-3 at one point, and then it just turned pure ugly. The only difference between last year and this year is they do have a lot more depth, and the kids. There's a lot of kids on this team, and the kids are they're good, they're seasoned, and again, we're 4 games in. I've learned as a Met fan now, I'll start getting excited in the end of August, and we're 10, 15 games up in the NL East.
Right.
So I just want to enjoy a great baseball season. That's all I want to do. I don't want to go through another year of why can't you hit it down?
Yes. We want some meaningful...
If the ground pitches one more game and nobody scores a run, I'm going to smash somebody. It causes violence.
No, we don't need that. We don't want that. No. So listen, on the way out, 30 seconds to go to prove your ultimate love to Bernie and Sid. Here's a scenario, Jim Breuer. You ready?
Yes.
Here's a scenario. Bernie and I have 2 tickets, box seats, to a Met-Yankee game downstairs in Queens, and we want you to come sit with us. The same exact game, tickets just as good. Boomer and Gio have 2 tickets, box seats, Queens. They want you to come watch the game with them.
Oh, no, you can stop now. You can stop now.
Oh, good.
I love Boomer and Gio. I got nothing against him, but come on. You're sitting there. You're at my house.
All right, Jim Breuer.
I'm pouring wine. Yeah. I'm driving you to the game.
That's our homeboy right there.
Yeah, Jimmy!
Strong Island in the house. Hey, Jim Breuer, thanks, man. Look, they got the all-new comedy album, Jim Breuer, live from Portland. Friday, April 5th it drops, folks. And it's going to be hilarious. It's all over the place. Sirius XM, Pandora, Spotify, iTunes. Hey, Jimmy, thank you once again for appearing on our 1-year anniversary show. We really love you, man.
You got it, man. I'll pick you up at 10 in the morning.
Hey, we're going Thursday, so actually I'll text you after the show in all seriousness. Thank you. Jim Breuer was great. We go from one diehard Met fan coming up in about 15 minutes, a diehard Yankee fan. Such a diehard fan, he sat in the stands last night freezing his ass off. But if you know Chaz Palminteri, you know how much he loves the New York Yankees. So next hour, Chaz Palminteri and Bill O'Reilly as the 1-year anniversary Bernie and Sid show continues. Only right here on 77 WABC.